Hello, fellow Novians. My name is Adreden. Today I just want to talk about the latest patch. It is a bugger. Yeah, I mean, it's all the way from things like minor annoyances like, you hear that noise? Dang, is it annoying. I wish I could access my, refinery here. I probably can now, but I needed to train up a whole bunch of proficiencies just to be able to access this machine. Couldn't just press the, off button or unplug it or something. Yeah, let's turn these friggin' things off if I can now. Stop. Yeah, and see, that one was refining lithium. Can't do that now, because I think I need a schematic for that. Oh, God, listen to that. It's so much better. It's so quiet. Oh, it's beautiful. You hear the ocean? Speaking of the ocean, I'm on JAGO. Guess what? Guess what, guys? I have 6,000 fuel. Guess what? Nitron. Nitron fuel now needs a schematic. Okay, distance. Oh, look at that. 456 SU. Great. Great, fantastic, wonderful. I can go pick that up. Maybe. Except that every friggin' thing needs a schematic. Warp cells need a schematic, and they're $5 million a piece. We, as an organization, have some warp cell facilities that produce warp cells. But it's going to cost us a lot of money to get to that point where we can have our warp cell production online. Like, I don't know, what did PAL say? Something like 17 million? I don't know. It's a ridiculous amount. Like, it's fine. Eventually, we might get there if we decide to put that much time into it. Okay, I think I need to go on my script again here because, yeah. It's, I'm getting a little bit rambly here. Okay, on script. These are probably only some of the grievances here. I'm going to probably also intersperse some of the earlier flight testing that I was doing today that also, because of this patch, had bugs galore in it. And people have been having problems with their flight all over the place. I was testing out this ship. I did produce some videos, recorded them about how to build this thing, but now I don't know if I'm going to put them out because I may have to redo the whole thing. And I've been saying that it is hard to produce content for this game because it takes so friggin' long to do anything that there's nothing interesting to show almost any of the time. There's occasional moments at these days now where, I'm doing stuff that's interesting, but interspersed is hours and hours and hours of mining or flying. I left the computer on, I went and did dishes. I think it was like 4.5 hours or something, flight time from JAGO, or from Alitoth to here. And it was ridiculous, and I basically just flew, and it was a PvP zone to fly here. Yeah. So, anyhow, some of the changes are, yeah, as you can tell, I'm pretty upset about this change, because oddly enough, this game is strangely compelling to play, despite the fact that it takes up more time than I have rightfully to spend on it. And I can be doing, I play a lot of 7 Days to Die, and I'm actually a modder for 7 Days to Die, and I know a lot about it, and I could probably have finished my mod for this latest alpha if I had just not started to play this game. And I'm also working on my own game, and I could have spent a lot more time doing that, but instead I'm doing this. Not a good idea. So, I don't know that Nova Quark really values your time as a human being. I don't know. That's not up for me to say, but you can think it out yourself. As I've been saying, I guess, I was on Alioth and Sanctuary for a long time, and I even went to Thades, and I, went and I tried to do a lot of mining and stuff, but I couldn't really find a lot of good stuff because lots of the early alpha players had come by and mined it all a lot, right? So that was a problem for me because, I would be looking for some like limestone, and I couldn't find much. It was probably just circumstances of where I was or something, but I don't know. I mean, I only started really getting into mining a few months after the beta. I had pretty much just bought stuff off the market and was learning the industry system, and so it took me a while to figure it all out, right? And anyways, I got kind of bored of that, and so I finally stopped that, and I was kind of almost done with the game, but then I decided I was going to say, fuck it, I really want to come to an ocean planet because I love the ocean, and here I am. It's awesome, I love it, except now I'm kind of screwed because I'm here. I don't have a way to even make fuel. I don't think I can access my fuel thing. Yeah, I don't even have the thing for that. And how does the schematic thing here work? Like, if I wanted to run that, I'm missing a schematic item. So, I mean, this is a tier, what, 3? So, I mean, of course I can't really run that. Okay. Yeah, so, like, if I wanted to run hematite, you know, a tier 1 ore, I don't think I can do it because I don't have the schematic for it. I can do it in here, but I couldn't even do that. So, right, so you gotta put like schematics into your industry machine now, and then, or something, I don't even know yet, but I guarantee there's no schematic for hematite on this planet. They kind of, as someone else put it, didn't really think about more advanced players. Like, yeah, I'm actually lucky because I just happen to have probably bought enough space fuel, I think, to get off the planet, and I have enough warp cells, I think, to get to Alitoth. So I could, in theory, get out of this. Now, what would happen if I hadn't bought that fuel today, hadn't bought those warp cells? You know, if I had spent another week maybe just mining, I'm betting the price will spike for both of those and would have been out of my range. I happen to be out of money because I bought a bunch of the remaining warp cells that were on the planet. Hematite. Closest distance. Oh. We have hematite schematics here. A couple. I almost feel like I should go get that now. Because, well, I don't think there's as many people on JAGO. But, yeah, that's probably fine. But, I mean, you know, this wouldn't actually be out of the range of someone to buy all of these and then just sell them for extortionist kind of rates, right? There's crap like this is going to be happening. And, yeah, now, also, they have element destruction. I'm not entirely sure what exactly they implemented, because I, first of all, don't want to, like, break things. I could check the notes, but, you know, if it's 1 time or if it's 3 times that the element can be restored, I don't quite know, but they were talking about that on the stream the other day. But, for example, like, if this thing were to break, I don't think I can replace this, maybe? There's a stabilizer L. There's no more on the planet, right? And then I need to also think about the stabilizer L schematic, which also is not on the planet. So, yeah, like, I don't know, you know. Now, the story behind this ship here is that, you know, I had built 3 or 4 other ships at the time that I built this. I'd flown through space on a smaller model of the ship that I then expanded so they could have a large cargo and carry this guy. The previous one was on an extra small frame, and this one is now on the small. Basically, I spent 2 weeks flying this thing, testing it, building it, and learning about even more flight dynamics that I had, you know, not quite understood at that point. And, you know, saving up to buy or build bigger engines. So, anyway, I spent the first probably 7 days of those 2 weeks crashing every day, maybe more than once, spending possibly more than an hour repairing the entire thing. if I had tier 1 ores, it would definitely have been more than that much time. But I had some fortunate donations by my other corp mates, and I was able to do some of the repairs, you know, longer. Like these guys here, these aren't cheap. These are huge things. They're not, like, it takes a lot, and it took me, you know, I would use a special trick to basically AFK repair these items. Right, I would like leave the room and go do dishes to get this thing fixed, and then do a round of repairs, do a round of alterations, upgrades, and then test fly it again and, you know, crash it again. I almost quit the game because I was so frustrated with, like, having to learn it and spending so much time doing this. Now, I don't know where it says in my lore or in my thing here. Okay, but yeah, so anyway, if they have now elements that get destroyed after a couple times, like, it's gonna take so much more to make big ships. I mean, I guess, on the other hand, like, well, no, because I went from a smaller ship that wasn't too bad to repair to this, which was, I didn't think it was really much of an upgrade. You know, the basic thing I built it around was this large container. That's it. I just wanted to fly around with a large container. And this is what it took me to really get a pretty decent ship to do it. So that was just like, you know, not great. And yeah, because basically I could only carry one of these on my extra small ship. I wanted to carry 3 on this one, but I couldn't afford it at the time because I needed limestone, but I have limestone now. I have plenty of limestone. Yeah, I've got 38,000 of it. I mean, this will be good for a bit. So anyhow, that's a whole other thing. So I think what they... okay. Because I want to also get into a little bit of the lore and why some of the game mechanics are, for a lack of niceties, dumb. Here it is. This happens in the year like 25, you know, the 26th century, I guess, right? 500-ish years from now. Now, some of the time is spent traveling from Earth to whatever star this is. They have a higher level of technology than we do. They can control quantum singularities, or, well, singularities. They have quantum linking and teleportation, I guess. Yeah, they've got some pretty friggin' advanced stuff. But they don't have VR shipbuilding testing facilities. Which, even today, you know, I think it was the Boeing 777 was built entirely on a computer and tested largely in a computer. And I know that there's also, from like a decade ago, they made genetic algorithms which, you know, optimized and built jet engines. And same with sine wave generators. And there's the list just grows, you know, all the time. So it just they really need to give the players a VR to test planes construction, because I was livid many times having crashed this after thinking I've got it right yet again, following other people's guides on how to basically build ships and having it not work. And now it's, you know, if I had to spend that much money to replace some of these things, and if I had to rebuild them, that would be... Anyhow. Moving on, I guess. Right, yeah. So now there's also the idea that scrap, like this silicon scrap, and aluminum scrap, and other kind of forms of scrap. Now, really, scrap. What is scrap? I mean, I don't know what it is. It shouldn't be called scrap in this game, because I think that's where the problem lies, is just naming names. It should be called like aluminum repair paste or something. Or something. It just... scrap to me is like... I have the example here of... I once had a car that I just didn't really want anymore. It still ran. It was fine. I just said that, it's scrap now. And I called a tow truck, and they picked it up, and I got money because it was scrap. And they scrapped it. That was scrap. Just basically declaring something is scrap, right? You could find rebar on the ground, it's scrap. Anyhow, now I can't even act. This is a honeycomb machine. I don't even think I have a recycler yet. But had I a recycler, I wouldn't be able to access it. I think I have them somewhere in here. Training. There's one. So there. Once I get this trained, I'll be able to get access to it. Then guess what? I need to make scrap. A schematic. If it was repair paste, maybe I'd be cool with that. Then I could be like, all right, I don't know what repair paste is. That's fine. Anyhow, yeah, that was just another. There's so many little grievances I have now, partly because I haven't vented before about the game, and it's just, yeah, problem. Okay, on the topic of schematics and lore, it doesn't make sense, and lore-wise, it doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not saying that for gameplay-wise and extending gameplay, or in terms of capitalism and Novaquark making money, it does make sense. But in lore, I wouldn't say that it makes sense. They have to come up with a dang good reason for it to make sense. Here's the thing. Like I said, 500 years ago, they detected a neutron star coming to Earth. They had enough time to build the seed ship, and they left, and they call it an arc ship, but arguably, I don't know if it's a seed ship, a gardener ship, or what, but they then came here, and now we are still, humanity, on the brink of destruction, with one solar system, yet again, and we are somehow still falling into the old ways of not sharing things? I don't know, man. If I was running the seed ship, which, obviously I'm not, but this is my input, I would make everything open source, right? Get the Novians out of this place, get them into another star system, build get everybody, be like, hey, we really need to get out of here. We need to get another arc ship built. We need to send it to another star system. Ideally, we would do this 2 times or something, and have a few systems colonized by humans, primarily for us, just so that we, as a species, could continue living, just in case a gamma ray burst, or another neutron star, a singularity, like a black hole, or a rogue planet came by, like anything. There's so many dangers in space. Came by and destroyed us. It is not smart for the Novians to be doing this. And having all their eggs in one basket, and it's a problem. So I would personally still make everything open source. Because apparently, we can do that today, and there's even orgs in the game that do that. And they've been very helpful to me doing scripts for my ships. And anyways, I would make the schematics open source, and everyone can just download them from the seed ship, arc ship. And they don't have any sort of limited runs, because I when 3D printers first came out, I did a lot of 3D printing. I found free 3D printing models online, and I printed multiple copies of them on a machine. I have an entire set of the Settlers of Catan because I printed it all on, a 3D printer. And yeah, totally free. It's only corporations and, greed that kind of cause these kind of things to happen. And there's not really a need for it all. As I was saying, I guess, one of the reasons I left Safe Space was because a lot of the stuff had been mined away. I guess from what I hear now, Mattis is actually not too bad, but not, doesn't have everything. Well, I guess if you can find everything, theoretically, in the safe zone, but it's questionable. And, See, I would be flying my ship around right now, but I can't make fuel. So once I have the fuel, I'm done, right? I can't fly this thing anymore. So I have to conserve everything, which isn't fun. Yeah, anyhow, so I came out to JAGO. It was dangerous, and I think I have a Let's Play video about that. And it was, you know, it was in a PvP zone. And now I kind of get PvP, and I get how it's fun gameplay. I'm not a PvPer. I don't appreciate pirates, because I played a lot of EVE, and I don't consider myself a Care Bear, but on the other hand, does it make sense in this game? In EVE, it makes 100% sense, because their society arose from chaos. They got sent through a wormhole, and they got cut off from Earth, and planets died. People died. Like, it was not great. Here, we have essentially a utopian society, and yet they decided in lore, and, you know, I'm filling in the holes here, but lore-wise, in the game, there's, first of all, why is there no space police? Why did the Ark ship not deploy a bunch of people and ships and or robots to police the entire system so that there was no or very little chance of being pirated or destroyed? I mean, space is big, yeah, but, you know, there should be no pirates within a large distance of the planets. And I guess maybe that's why there are safe zones around them, so that people can warp to them. But still, I guess the next question is, like, why are there even people like that on the seed ship? Gameplay wise, I get it. We're actually on a game on Earth, playing a game, but it's a little bit unrealistic in my opinion, as to why they're here. Like, why? You had probably a couple hundred years to build the Ark ship. You probably had time not to just even select the best, kind, smart, healthy people from out of probably greater than 10 billion choices from the entire solar system. And yet there are people who are like PvPers? Like, not PvPers. I don't want to like come down on people who enjoy PvP. And that's what it sounds like. I probably already got some bad comments about it. Because I get it, that it's fun, but on the other hand, does it make sense in this context? I don't think so. But if you had hundreds of years, you even had time to breed certain traits in or out of a potentially, you know, a potential population that you wanted. I don't know. I mean, it's a questionable thing, but obviously, like, yeah, you know, you got questions of eugenics and, you know, elitism. But I don't know. You know, there's probably things in the background, like people with money probably got onto the ship more than people who didn't, etc., etc. Yeah, anyhow, I have been ranting for a long time already. And you just let me, you know, down in the comments, do, you know, let me know. This is partly for the developers. I just want them to, like, think about their actions a lot better. I think that they should have rolled this patch out in multiple patches, multiple smaller patches, so that people had time to adjust. This is like a huge adjustment in one burst, and it seems like it's just going to make people angry. Two, a lot of people didn't even know this was like so soon. I mean, I watched the stream the other day, and not all of it. I didn't catch it from the beginning, but I didn't know that this was going to happen in like 24 hours, essentially, of that stream. I knew that it was coming soon, and that there was a lot of changes, and then some of them I'm all okay with. I mean, I played EVE. I like, in a sense, I like schematics, but like on the other hand, it didn't even make sense in that game. Yeah, we can talk about that in the comments. It just doesn't make sense to have schematics, and even in our society, like, there's copyrights, but if someone wanted to open source something or leak it, they could, right? It's just silly. Yeah, so they could have given us more time, and they should have made it so that this was rolled out in waves, right? Like, hey, we're gonna make it so that all of the, you know, maybe the refineries all have their skills rolled out this week, and then next week we'll do the smelters, and then maybe next week we'll do the metal workers or metal industries and the electronics and maybe some of the other ones, and finally we'll do the assemblers, right? Because like they're the last level. Giving people time to adjust. Also releasing the schematics like a week or two before the requirement to need the schematics, that would have been another way to ease the anger. I don't know what their thought process is on that. It seems like they just wanted to get it done. And that's fine, I kind of get that, but like, you're going to create a lot of anger. And I can see it on the chat right now. And my corp mates who I'm chatting with too, they're also not happy. It's a problem. And like, other games coming out. I'm going to go play Cyberpunk 2077 as soon as I finish recording this. I'll edit it soon and have it out to you guys. But, you know, I've already been playing Cyberpunk because of this, and now I probably won't come back to this game a whole lot for the next month. Because why? Like I said earlier, I've got a mod that I could develop. I've got a whole game that I can work on in my spare time. The amount of time it takes me to learn how to friggin' script on this friggin' thing is time I could have learned how to animate characters in Unity, you know, load scenes, do the UI for the different menus, which I did do finally, but you know, why spend your time in this game when you could do real life things that are also going to be beneficial to you? It's just kind of questionable, you know. I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna try to end it here. Yeah, basically for this month, I wouldn't recommend this. Now, I would probably have stopped playing if I was having to pay for this. I feel sorry for new players having to do all this. Like, it took me a couple months to figure this game out, playing more than I should have, and I've recommended to people that they just join a corp or a organization and they just learn as much as they can, as quick as they can, whether they like that organization or not, and just learn as quick as they can, because there's so much to learn. And now, not only is there a lot to learn, there's schematics and stuff, and it's just, I feel like it's too much for a new player. I could be wrong, and I guess time will tell. Because obviously they get paid when they keep you here longer. The longer they can keep you here, like let's say a year, then they get paid a pretty decent amount for how much, you know, for the time. But on the other hand, like, what have I been playing for, like 4 months, more than 4 months? And, you know, I'm competent now. I can do the things that are in the game, except for PvP. And, yeah. So that means, like, a new player is going to have to spend, like, 4 months paying just to kind of, I don't know, learn how to play the game, and then maybe play the game better after that. I don't know, man. It's a strange thought. Anyhow, moving on again. Yeah, so I would probably not pay for this game again. If I wasn't on beta, I probably would just stop, because I know how much time it takes. And I'll probably check it out maybe in a year or two. That's sort of my current review of it, which is not great, but that's, you know, we're all thinking, like, in my corp, that, like, do we want to spend the time mining to get the schematics to build things to go do more mining? Like, do we want to mine so much that we can buy a warp cell schematic? Just one? and then go mine the stuff to make the warp cells. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like or dislike. I don't really care. And yeah, I will see you guys soon, but I'm gonna go play Cyberpunk 2077 on a stream, and I hope it's good, because I don't want to have yet another disappointment today. Okay guys, thanks, bye bye.